Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fort's Comic News Top 5 Must-Buy Comics for September 13th, 2017. This will be the last episode of this in this space, if you can't tell behind me. It's pretty bare. There's a chair there. It's not normally there. There's a chair here. It's not normally... I don't know. Everything's a fucking mess right now. But let's jump right into it. So we've got, from Marvel, Generations, Captain Marvel and Captain Marvel. This is written by Margaret Stone and art by Brent Schoonover. So, Generations books been pretty good. The most recent one, the Iron Heart and Iron Man one, was good, not great. But a lot of the other ones have been fantastic, including the Wolverine and a few of the others. This one, I'm looking forward to because we haven't seen Captain Marvel in a while. I mean, the last time I remember seeing him was back in like the Secret Invasion days. I could be off on that. I think he had a series right after that, but in that time period. And I'm just excited to see him again. And just the fact that Carol Danvers is going to reunite with him, and they're going to go up against something that the Kree Empire really wants to get rid of. So her timing might be perfect. Next, I have Action Comics number 987. This is written by Dan Jurgens and art by, this is an extremely Russian name, so bear with me. It's Viktor Bogdanovic. I think I got that right. This is the beginning of the Oz Effect. This is something that has been teased since DC Rebirth. This is huge. So, this is the storyline where Mr. Oz's minions are starting to come out against the Man of Steel, and he's finally going to step out of the shadows a little bit more than he has. And if you haven't been reading Action Comics, this is definitely a great place to jump on. In the last issue, Mr. Oz had an interaction, and we've all had this idea that Mr. Oz was Ozymandias from The Watchmen. But in the last issue of Action Comics, he came out, kind of had a mini battle, and had eye lasers, which has everybody going, what the fuck? And so we all think he's some sort of Kryptonian. There's been a bunch of theories. My personal favorite, and the one I hope is right, is that it is Jor-El. I think there's so much great story potential there. Another one I heard was, and I'm not too familiar with this, it's a little before my time, but it was a Superboy, like an alternate dimension version of Superboy that was a clone of Kal-El and is coming back. That was another one I heard. I mean, there's been so many. This is just going to be a huge, huge book for DC. And moving forward into the upcoming series, Doomsday Clock. So I really look forward to picking this one up. Next, also from DC, I have Dark Knight's Metal number 2. This is written by Scott Snyder with art by Greg Capullo. All-star team. Great Batman run. Now they're on this huge book. Basically, what's next? I mean, if you haven't read it, huge spoiler alert. The end of the first issue, Sandman comes out. And this is huge because we haven't seen this Sandman in forever. And it's also huge because the writer involved with Sandman has to give his permission to use Sandman. So if Neil Gaiman comes out and says, this is a great idea, you should do it, I'm inclined to say that it's going to be great. So I want to see where it goes. I want to see what Sandman's doing, what's going on. We still got the two characters that are running out trying to find an old friend. What's going on with Plastic Man? What's going on with the Outsiders? I don't know, but I want to know. So, should be great. Can't wait for it. After that, I have from Image, The Realm, number 1. This is written by Seth Peck with art by Jeremy Fetter and Nick Filandi. So, this has a really cool premise that I've never seen before, personally. But the idea is that 15 years ago, a bunch of creatures and myths. So we're talking orcs, dragons, goblins, anything from your fantasy stuff, your Game of Thrones, your Lord of the Rings, that kind of idea, have come to Earth and have taken over. So now we're in a post-apocalyptic scenario. So that happened 15 years ago. Now we fast forward to today, and humanity is just struggling to survive. They're fighting every day through this darkness. It's a world full of violence and mayhem, but there is one sorcerer, an extremely powerful sorcerer, who has gathered his troops together and has come to fight and reclaim Earth for humanity. A couple writer and artists I've never heard of personally, but the premise just got me sucked in. Like, it just sounds so great. I think this is going to be another one of an Image hit. I've been calling them for a while. I thought Saga was going to be a hit when they first came out. I might have fumbled a bit on this one, but I still stand that it's going to come out great. Is Curse Words. I really love that book. And The Realm is the next one in line. I just think has so much potential to be an awesome book. After that, also from Image, I have Retcon, #1. This is written by Matt Mixon and art by Toby Cypress. Now, this is another one that people have never really heard of or followed, but the idea was just kind of cool. And this is the idea that this is a reboot or a retcon of a comic book comic book series that never existed. So how do those affect when there was nothing before for us to... It's a whole thing that I think it really speaks to the Marvel fan in me, who, retcon after retcon, and the DC fan in me, the reboot after reboot. And I want to know how they kind of play on those different things and see what happens. This one has potential to go either way. I just think that as a #1, there's potential there to be really good. And I hope that it comes out that way. So yeah, thanks for watching. That's all for our top 5. Remember, visit us on FortressComicNews.com or Facebook.com/FortressComicNews. And if you watch this on YouTube, most likely, there's a subscribe button, there's a like button, comment, share, do all that fun stuff. I really appreciate it. And thanks for watching.